I was at dinner last night with some really good friends, and we were just talking about old times, and it reminded me of a story, something that happened to us going to a concert years ago. There were, I don't know, 8 to 10 of us going to a concert. We were on the highway. It was in the summertime, and this particular highway, there were 2 lanes going in the same direction. It was a divided highway. Traffic was bumper to bumper. We were in front and back of each other and side to side when I glanced in my rearview mirror, and a friend that was in the car with me, we looked, and my friend behind me, his car started going up in the air. Behind him, he was in a compact car. Behind him was this huge, it was a semi-tractor trailer truck. Apparently the truck driver decided that he wasn't going to wait anymore, and he was just going to plow through traffic. Well, we kind of panicked a little bit, looked around and tried to get out of the way, but there was nowhere to go. We pulled our cars over. My friend got out irate and went up and addressed the driver in the truck. And while he was talking to him, I set about, it was before everybody had camera phones, I set about with my person, I can't remember if it was my sister or a friend, walking around the truck. It was one of the semis that had the trailer to the cab and then another one pulled behind, and recording all of the license plates all the way around the truck, the name of the truck, the names on the sides, and all of those kind of things. Anyway, we broke a rule of what happens in an accident, which is we left. We addressed the driver. He didn't really have an explanation. The traffic finally eased up a little bit, and we were able to get through. We went on to the concert. I think we missed 1 or 2 of the songs. And then later that night, I was at home. My friend called. He had gone over to the highway patrol to report the accident, and they went crazy. It was on a turnpike, a toll type of road, and the authorities were concerned because they could have caught the person right away. But anyway, he called me to get the information that I had taken down, which I gave to him, and then they made the report. And a little while later, I don't know, weeks or so, I got a call from an investigator. I had him come over to my office to interview me, and I had a sheet of paper with all of the identifying information. The long and the short of it is they found him with the identifying information. He was fired, he was ticketed, and I believe the company made reparations for the damage to my friend's car, but it was literally going up in the air by a truck driving through it. Well, that's part of that is what not to do. The what not to do is don't leave the scene of an accident. If you have an accident, there's a saying, it could be a small thing and it's just an accident. If it's a really, really big one, you're probably not going to survive it, so don't worry about it either way. Drive the best that you can, but if you are in an accident, I like to use a little saying for what I would recommend that you do, which is easy to remember. L if I care, L is location. Leave the car where it is if you can safely, to identify, that way the police can identify what has happened. Case in point, when I was a young driver, I had an accident. I was going through side streets. I was stopped at a stop sign. There was a row of trees blocking my vision, but it was night, so I couldn't tell. I was waiting there for a while. There was no traffic. I didn't see anyone. There was a car on the other side also stopped at a stop sign, and I couldn't figure out why they were stopped. I waited a while, no cars. I just started to pull out into the intersection, and I was immediately clipped and hit, and that car went on. I drove through the intersection, which was a mistake because the bumper to my car was moved. Well, my mother's car was moved, so you could tell the impact the other driver hit, and they hit me, although I was sticking out, but I wasn't sticking out that far. If I had stopped the car, it might have made a difference, but I drove through the intersection. Then when the police came, they couldn't see the point of impact or where the cars were. I was a kid. Kids do not get the benefit of the a doubt, when there's an adult involved, and so on. So location, leave the cars at the location of impact if you can. F, fault. Do not admit fault. Do not try to goad the other driver into admitting fault either. Let people say whatever they're going to say, but be in charge of yourself. Don't admit fault. Keep those statements neutral. I, information. Exchange information. You should have a card with you on your insurance, so should the other person. If they have a business card, if you have a business card, you can exchange that information, but you should exchange insurance information, name, phone number, address, and make sure you get that from the other driver. And look at their insurance card and see if it has expired or not. Nowadays you can just take a picture of it. If they don't, take a picture of their whole card. It'll show you the coverage, their agent information, and things like that. And then finally, care. This is no time to be brave or try to brush it off. If you were jolted, if you are bleeding, if you are injured, if someone else in your car is injured, let them call for an ambulance. Go and get checked out. Soft tissue injury is injury inside your ligaments, muscles, things like that, not a bone that's broken or that's obvious. You can be injured even if there are no apparent signs. It'll take about a week to 2 weeks for it to show up. And the pain can be lingering and lasting, but you need to get it checked out so that you know what restrictions you have, and what you do or don't do. Be careful out there, and I hope this helped.